Let's talk about Sidephone at CES. It's the end of the day, it's the end of the week, and I am recovering from a cold. So if I sound a little bit, that is why. But I cannot wait to talk to you about Sidephone. So as some of you may have seen, I posted some pictures of spending a good couple of days with Chris and Sebastian from Sidephone, and how fun it was. These guys, first of all, they're just great dudes. Chris, Sebastian, you're great dudes. These guys understand what they want to achieve, and they're just going for it, and I can really appreciate that. So super nice guys. We met out with them on one of the days of CES, and we just kind of spent some time together. They showed us Sidephone. They had on a couple of them with the compact QWERTY tile, with the sundial tile, as well as the T9 tile, and just let me and some of the other folks that were there try them out. So I spent a good couple of hours with the actual Sidephone, and it was so cool. So we'll get into the details a little bit, but just a huge thank you to Chris and Sebastian for going to CES, putting their products on display, and letting those of us who have just been so anxiously awaiting them play with them for a good long while. I met the manufacturer, Lawrence, really, really nice, super supportive of what Chris and Sebastian are doing. I actually recorded an interview with both Chris and Sebastian. They went into the details of what Sidephone is, what it is not, why they're going with a de-Googled Android versus not, and none of the audio went through. It was a technical difficulty. So let's talk about Sidephone. So Sidephone is a compact phone running a de-Googled Android-based operating system. Now, the reason they de-Googled it, there's a number of them, but in our interview, when I was talking to Chris and Sebastian, Chris mentioned something really interesting. He basically just wanted to make clear, for creating a platform in which people can develop apps, software, to break out of the Google ecosystem, the walled garden that is Google mobile services. While it may seem like it limits your options in functionality just because of the great services that Google offers that won't be available on this device, in the long run, their hope is that this will actually create more flexibility for people going forward as people start developing for this de-Googled version of Android. So wanted to go over that. A couple things. The tile mechanism, that was something that I was actually really impressed with. So it's kind of a two-function system. There are magnets on the inside, and then right at the bottom, there's a tiny little latch that you can engage or disengage with your thumb or your finger or something else. So it's not just being held in by magnets, and it's not just having to latch it in there every time. It's actually a very smooth in and out mechanism that I was very impressed with. They had the 3 tiles with them. They had the T9, which I honestly, it's fine, not my thing, didn't spend much time with it. The compact QWERTY, which there may or may not be a little Easter egg in the Sidephone operating system around yours truly because of some help I did with developing the compact QWERTY tile. So super, I'm flattered and honored that they would do that. So with the compact QWERTY, it took me right back to the BlackBerry Pearl days. I loved the Pearl. I loved how intuitive it was, where you had 2 letters instead of 3 on each of the digits, and it was so nice to go and see that it actually worked great. Credit to Sebastian for developing the software for this to work. And then the sundial, I did want to talk about that really briefly. So it looks very similar to the old iPod Nano click wheel. It's not a click wheel. So basically what you have on the sundial is 9 different button points where there's indentations, and the design of the sundial is actually pretty cool, to where you can customize what each of the button presses does to whatever you want. So what I would probably do is the 4 button presses that are the edges of the actual round center, I would turn into a D-pad, maybe select for the middle one, and then program 4 apps for the other ones. I'm not sure. Chris had programmed his somewhat similarly that way. So it's really just like a remote control for your phone or for your life. You can program it to do whatever you want. Key Mapper is built in. That was something I thought was really cool. I don't know if I got B-roll of it, but Key Mapper is actually a built-in menu setting. It's not just a system app. It's actually built into the menu settings, the settings menu as well. The cases felt really nice. I was worried that they maybe would feel a little, cheap, but they actually were a joy to hold, and it was really neat. I'd never had back at the Brooklyn Bring Back BlackBerry meetup was my first experience in person with Sidephone, and I don't recall there being a case, certainly not while I had it in my hand, and the case actually does make it feel somehow a little bit more compact than without the case. It adds a little bit of grip, a little bit of texture for those, maybe with very dry fingers. It's not going to slip right out of your hand, but it felt so nice with the case on. And the size, my friends, oh my goodness, it was so nice to have a phone with everything you need. I went ahead and Sebastian was gracious enough to let me sideload Niagara on it. You guys know I love Niagara Launcher, and it just, with one-handed, it was just a joy to use. So much more to come with Sidephone. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a recap of the wonderful time I had with Chris and Sebastian at CES. Again, apologies, I lost the audio from the interview, but if you're new here, click that link where I've got the links to all of my different socials, wherever you may or may not want to interact with me. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Much more to come. Thanks, guys.